Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. We spend so many hours at the gym building up our physical strength, right? But what about the mind? Today, we're unpacking the architecture of mental fortitude. Basically, we're going to treat your mind like a structure that you can actively design, build, and reinforce right from the ground up.
So we really have to ask this fundamental question. Why is it that some people can handle immense stress while others just fall apart? I mean, you've probably seen this happen. Say two people lose their jobs on the exact same day. One person completely unravels, just falls apart at the seams, but the other one, they stay totally grounded, keep their cool, and somehow navigate the storm.
Well, the difference between those two paths actually has absolutely nothing to do with luck or some sort of genetic gift. It's a built skill. We call it mental strength, and it's constructed brick by brick. The source material is super clear on this. Mental strength isn't something you're just magically born with. It is absolutely something you have to construct for yourself. And here's the exact blueprint we're going to use to build your mental fortitude today. First, we'll look at the foundation of fortitude. Second, taking ownership. Third, the power of discipline. Fourth, reframing failure. And finally, choosing your mindset. So let's get right to work. All right, section 1, the foundation of fortitude. This is all about accepting reality and controlling the controllable. The crucial takeaway here is that you really should never expect life to be easy. Mentally strong people don't just wake up expecting a sunny, totally problem-free day. They know perfectly well that things like unexpected storms, rejection, and disappointment are always on the menu. So instead of acting shocked when things go wrong, they actively pack their umbrella and prepare for the rain. Honestly, worrying about the storm clouds, things like the weather, the economy, or just the opinions of your peers, is a massive drain on your battery. True strength only grows when you grab the steering wheel and focus purely on your own actions, choosing your attitude and entirely owning your response to whatever life throws at you. Moving right along to section 2, take ownership of your life. This means dropping the excuses and seeking a whole lot less approval. Look, let's be real. Excuses offer a super quick, comfortable escape from taking responsibility. They feel kind of good in the moment. But that temporary relief comes at a really steep price, because ultimately those excuses become a trap that keeps you completely stuck in the exact same place. Taking ownership, even when the circumstances are entirely your fault, is absolutely vital. Why? Because true responsibility is what empowers you to actually change your life. Think about it this way. If you blame the outside world for all your problems, you're essentially handing over all of your power to the outside world. But the second you take responsibility, even for a terrible hand you were dealt, you instantly reclaim the power to navigate your way out. We all have that one friend who makes massive life choices just to please their parents or fit in with their peers, right? But mentally strong individuals draw a hard line there. While it's always smart to be open to wise advice, you can never, ever allow the fear of judgment or rejection to dictate your choices in life. Okay, section 3, the power of discipline. This is all about doing the difficult things consistently. The source redefines self-discipline in such a great way here. It emphasizes that discipline is really just about choosing necessary actions over temporary feelings, especially when your motivation completely vanishes. It's about leasing up your running shoes at 5 a.m. when your bed feels incredibly warm. Discipline builds confidence because every single time you keep a difficult promise to yourself, your mind levels up. It's so true that most people spend their entire lives curled up in their comfort zone. But mentally strong folks, they choose to climb the mountain. They recognize that the comfort zone is essentially a wasteland where nothing new ever grows. Getting out there and doing difficult things consistently is exactly where your true progress actually starts. Up next is section 4, reframing failure and setbacks, basically turning your mistakes into actionable lessons. Whenever things go off the rails, a weak mind panics. It plays the victim and asks, why did this happen to me? But failure is just data. It's raw information. A strong mind flips the script and asks, okay, what can I learn from this? Every single setback contains a hidden, actionable lesson if you're just willing to put it under a microscope and look for it. Everyone faces setbacks, literally everyone. The defining characteristic of a strong person isn't somehow magically avoiding the fall. It's what happens right after they hit the ground. Mentally strong people just keep moving, one step, one day, one challenge at a time. They know for a fact that relentless persistence will beat out raw, unpolished talent 9 times out of 10. And finally, Section 5, choosing your mindset. This is about acting despite fear and playing the long game. Weak minds always demand the shortcut, right? They want that immediate reward on day one. But if you start thinking in terms of years instead of days and willingly sacrifice today's comfort, you end up building a massive foundation for tomorrow's success. True patience is honestly a formidable kind of strength. If there is one absolutely crucial takeaway from this whole explainer, it's that mental strength is not the absence of fear. You're going to feel fear. You'll definitely feel the pressure. But true fortitude is feeling the heavy weight of the boulder and choosing to push it up the hill anyway. It's just flat out refusing to quit. Ultimately, your mind is a tool. Left completely untrained, it acts as your biggest obstacle. Just this tangled knot of excuses always seeking the path of least resistance. But when it's constructed with actual purpose, it becomes your greatest weapon.
So I'll leave you with this provocative final question to chew on. Will you choose to let your mind hold you back, or are you going to build the architecture to make it your greatest asset? The choice is entirely yours, every single day. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start laying down those bricks for your own mental fortitude today.